Hello again, folks. Welcome to another Starcraft 2 broadcast. I am Ahnaris here today, continuing my coverage of LastPlayerStanding.com's 48-player tournament. We are currently in the quarterfinals, watching a best-of-3 series between CheckPrime, spawning as the Zerg down in the 6 o'clock position, facing off against Attero, the Protoss opponent in the 9 o'clock. So close by air spawning positions on Shakuras Plateau could lead to some very interesting mid-game engagements. Specifically the early mid-game, transitioning into possible Stargate play or maybe Warp Prism. We could see a fast expand from either player. We'll watch this probe as he does head down to the bottom of the ramp to drop his probe. This again is kind of indicative of that expansion style of play. Now, I really wonder if he is actually going to be trying to pursue that drop/air harass, or if he's just going to be going for a straight-up standard play involving Colossi, etc. So we'll see what happens. Now, let's actually pay attention to CheckPrime for a second. He's just sitting on 12 supply right now. In another couple supply, we're going to wait and start to see if he's going to be going for an expansion first, which is very unlikely because, again, against Protoss, you rarely see that unless it's a really big map, and more likely going to have a gas spawning pool, some variant thereof, getting metabolic boost at some point here in the beginning. But nice probe harass by Attero, really doing a good job keeping the drones on their toes, making sure CheckPrime is focused on target, and looking for any opportunity that he can to score some free damage. So he did use that weakest drone to build the spawning pool first. Again, this is pretty much to be expected, just knowing that the Protoss is going to have his probe around here trying to deny the expansion. We'll keep an eye on that and head back to Attero's base, where we see he is continuing to chrono boost out on his Nexus, throwing down a Forge up here, currently sitting at 17 supply. I would anticipate him actually starting to save up for a Nexus here at some point in the near future. Nice catch with the expansion, though. Drops that pylon just in the nick of time, ready to cancel or to delay that ever so slightly, and is going to be canceling that as well. Very nice indeed. So getting a little bit of that money back while still delaying. Oh, it goes down. Nice! Nice catch by CheckPrime. So Attero is going to keep his probe here for just a second or two, but he knows that pool is complete by now. So he's keeping an eye on it, waiting to see, okay, is he actually going to commit Zerglings to this, or am I actually going to be able to possibly do a little bit of cannon harass? Keep in mind, you can throw cannons behind the mineral line, behind the geysers even if you really want to, although that makes it kind of difficult right there, and do some significant damage. But this probe getting stuck right here is going to lead to it being the first blood drawn of the game. Poor probe for Attero, getting taken out by the Zerglings. So over here, back in Attero's base, continuing with the chrono boost, we see the first cannon is finished. We have a second one on the way, and overall looking pretty good for the wall-off, although I'm kind of curious. I don't know if that's secure or not right there. I would imagine you'd want it one more over. But we'll wait and see what happens. I mean, for all I know, it could be. Yeah. Anyways, back to the over here in the mineral line. Watson will probably have double gas dropped in the near future here. And likewise for Baboon Prime, he's actually dropped double gas already. So, I'm going to be waiting to see what he goes for. Is he going to be going for a fast lair? Is he going to be going for some type of gas-heavy build involving roaches and or banelings? Looking over here, we see this Nexus is definitely inviting punishment in some form. So, looking around and back in CheckPrime's base, we see this expansion completed. We're going to see those drones start to saturate the mineral line in the coming moments. And we also have, again, this is pretty much just to keep forces from running up the ramp there, anticipating potential early light harass. I mean, we can see that it's likely not going to happen. We do have a couple Zealots on the way. But again, the Zerg player has had enough time to kind of get some drones down here, get some larvae up and going. And notice how he's going directly into Tier 2. Just now starting that metabolic boost upgrade. Huh. Well, looking at this strat right now, he's going to be sitting pretty decent on gas going into Tier 2, but I'm really wondering where he's going to be going after that. I would say he could be going for some type of Hydra play, or maybe just Roach Hydra, pretty typical, but this is an awfully weird build to do that. I'm thinking maybe he even could be considering some type of Nidus strategy, which would make sense, I mean, considering how he has the double gas there, and we don't see anything else. Oh, and he does indeed have that Nidus worm going down. So there we go, folks. That's what we're going to watch, is a potential just complete bypass of the defenses up here. And I mean, it makes sense. He knows, CheckPrime knows his opponent, Attero, has walled off pretty securely up here, and it would be quite difficult to try to break that through conventional means. On the other hand, this main base up here is very, very poorly defended. We see one cybernetics core, one pylon, and that's it. Nothing else. Nothing to speak of for defenses. So as far as where we can actually see the Nidus, looking around up here, we see it is fairly exposed, but oh, what do we have down here? We have a Nidus Storm way down in the southern portion of the base where there is nothing giving it vision. Here we go, folks. Queen actually taking the lead out of the Nidus. What is she going to be doing? I think she's going to try to drop a creep timber. Yes, she does. It goes down, and all the Zerglings just going a beeline for the mineral line. This is putting Attero in a really weird position. I mean, hey, though, you know, it was a good idea by CheckPrime to exploit the fact that his opponent's base was so insecure. But look at this. Attero just going for the straight-up counterattack. Now, this is a very smart move, because it's forcing a lot of those Zerglings that was meant for the main base to come down and defend, and Attero might actually be able to do some significant damage here. It comes down to the positioning. He cannot let the Zerglings get a good surround. He has to use the terrain, the structures to his advantage. That's kind of what he's doing right here. A lot of those Zealots aren't really able to attack, though. So they're coming in. Oh, nice with the drones, getting that good surround, using the mineral move command to his advantage. And look, all the while, having lost the cybernetics core, the Nexus has completely been destroyed. And down here at the natural is his only thing left. He does have a Stargate, and looking around here, you see this Nidus it's looking good, man. Got 2 creep tumors on the way, and those Zealots have been mopped up. So now with the Hydralist in, canceled there for a second, we're going to have that rebuilt here, and moving forward, I think that CheckPrime is in a pretty darn good spot. You know, the potential for economic expansion for him is much better than Attero right now. Just the simple fact that he's got this creep coming all around his base, he's going to have to get some way to detect the creep tumors, which are going to be essentially denying the use of this base now that his forces have been retreated back. He's still doing a great job coming once again, attacking the Zealots, and whoa, this is super close, but I think yet CheckPrime is going to come out in the lead ever so slightly. But look at what's coming down here in the mini-map. We have a Void Ray getting ready to put some pressure on CheckPrime's overlords. We do have that Hydralist in, which I think will work out very well in providing anti-air defense. He's also making 2 additional queens, and I think he doesn't actually have any left in his base. Yeah, no, he has 2 of them right here, and that's going to be about it. But as far as what they're going to be able to accomplish here, if they can pick off this Void Ray, I will say I'll be fairly impressed. The Void Ray has a lot of hit points, very close to high ground, and with 3 Zealots running around, it's going to be very difficult. But, oh, 2 Hydras coming in as well, finishing off the Void Ray, and so many more Hydras coming in. The Zerg player is going to be able to use this creep, run around very quickly, and take the high ground, denying both Geysers and the Cybernetics core, and the Protoss is not going to be able to do a thing about it. Also hitting the mineral line as well, which is quite saturated. Just look at the worker count right now, and you can see that for yourself. 42 to 37, 43 running on 1 base alone. And here comes the probes trying to come in and get a good surround on the Hydralist, as well as the 1 Void Ray, which is way too close. And it looks like it was within fighting range of all the Hydralists there, doing the best that he could. Unfortunately, not good enough as the probes continue their good fight, trying to just stem the tide of the Zerg reinforcements. Not able to fully wrap up that attack, though. The problem now is that he still does not have Warp Gate technology. He's trying to get that out. You know, the loss of that was absolutely crucial. Nice probe surround, getting a lot of those Hydras. I would expect to see at least a couple of those die before this gets mopped up. Just enough reinforcements there, bringing them back on the creep. Yeah, there we go. CheckPrime making good use of the creep, and boom, there's the GG. Attero, you know, if he just had a couple more minutes, I think he would have been fine. It's just he didn't put a pylon down here. He didn't put one over here. Just kind of left those exposed. And CheckPrime just quite simply took advantage of that. Built a strategy around that. Went for the double gas, the fast Nidus, which is something that you see not regularly, but you do see it in League play. And this is just another case of that. So you cannot write that strategy off for sure. Now let's go on to another game. We have plenty more matches for you from the round of 8, and then we're going to head on to the semifinals after that. Here with LastPlayerStanding.com SC2 Open number 3.